talk about Conor McGregor, man, because he came out on a Dual Bits live stream looking absolutely poked up on the dust. He was flying around. He was talking about Ilia Topuria, and he was making headlines as he always does. This is kind of what sparked my interest in making this video. I feel like Conor McGregor would make an absolutely fantastic media personality. I just don't know where. Like, I don't know where you would put Conor McGregor to be best. And I have a couple of options. I just wanted to make this video. There's not much going on, at least as of this recording in the MMA world, but I want to try and stay consistent with my uploads, so I figured I'd talk about it. Conor McGregor comes out. He's in the Dual Bits stream. He's smoking. He's drinking, talking about how he's going to beat up other fighters. I mean, it's classic Conor. It's super funny, super entertaining. And again, it got me thinking, right? Would the UFC hire him as a media personality? Can they hire him as a media personality? It'd be tough, right? I think the biggest thing with Conor, if you would hire him to be on camera, was that he'd be hard to kind of predict or control. If I'm a UFC producer, a guy like Conor McGregor is probably my worst nightmare, especially, and this is where I think he gets most of his entertaining powers when he's off the yayo, when he's off the dust. Could you imagine that? If you're a UFC producer, a dusted up Conor McGregor comes on to the weigh-in show, maybe for like fighter interviews, the wild stuff that he would get down to, it would be entertaining, sure, but I don't know if it would necessarily be the UFC speed per se. I think he'd be better and more suited in an environment like a podcast. Now, I know he's been streaming a ton more. I think him opening up his own Twitch could be a really fun idea, or probably whoever he has managing him, opening him up a Twitch, maybe doing a solo fight companion. Like, I would watch that. Think about that. A solo fight companion where he talks shit about fighters, talks about the performances. I mean, that'd be a very, very fun stream to watch, in my personal opinion. And that's kind of what I keep harkening back to, because I don't think Conor is well designed for mainstream media. Just too wild, too much of a liability. But if he wants to open up his own channel, his own platform, I think he'd do really, really well for himself. I honestly also think that the WWE would be a great place for Conor. I think he'd be a great fit for a heel. He's in ridiculous shape, even though he says he hasn't stepped on a scale since he last weighed in for whatever fight. Now, the UFC's not going to let him out of their contract anytime soon, but Conor thrives when he's being unpredictable. And an environment where that would suit him well, I think could really, really take him to new heights. I know he's a guy that loves making money. I think Twitch is perfect for that. I think he'd pull an insane amount of viewership. Or if he did Rumble or Kick or any of these other platforms. I think if he had his own podcast, I think if he had his own YouTube, all those things could be incredibly beneficial. I just also don't know, considering how wild he is, how game he would even be to doing that. Like, he seems like a guy that wouldn't really like the commitment to structure something out and work on something anymore. He seems like the type of guy to kind of just enjoy the flexibility to do this, go there, do that. Like, Dual Bits had him on, but from the highlights I saw, I mean, he was barely interacting with the stream or poker. And I'm pretty sure the only reason they got him in there is because it's gambling. So would it also be a tough ask for him to do more entertainment style formatted stuff? Maybe, you know, I don't know, but I think that he can stand to really benefit if he's not going to fight again, which I honestly don't know. I don't see McGregor personally stepping back in there. He doesn't need to, just in the same way he doesn't need to do entertainment. He doesn't need to do anything really. And maybe that's part of the appeal, but I think if he's not going to lace him up again, he's probably not going to coach, and entertainment would be the best forum for a guy like McGregor that just naturally does some wild stuff, even if it's like not stuff that he's aware of, or he has a camera crew following him around. That would do insane numbers. You can't tell me that it wouldn't. I mean, at this point, the guy kind of gives me the vibe of a friend that is really, really super duper off the wall crazy, but you keep around because he's a good time. That's Conor. And I think a lot of people would want to see that, especially with the parasocial relationships that people form with streamers. I think the thought process there for a lot of people would be like, all right, well, let's see what my buddy McGregor is going to get up to again tonight. You know, he's going to go on a pub crawl, sniff yayo, do some poker. I think it's also a lifestyle thing too. I mean, you think about that, like a night out with Conor McGregor, even if that's a video, dude. Numbers. Everyone wants to know what Conor McGregor would do on a night out. Probably some degenerate stuff, but hey, that stuff sells. Without further ado, guys, that's been the video. I just wanted to kind of drop in, talk about it. It's something that tickled my fancy, so you guys are hearing about it. I appreciate y'all. And of course, without further ado, it's been your boy, the combat consultant, the soundboard god, Jacob Cooperman. I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.